Why, hello everybody. Welcome back. This is BalorMage, and we're gonna go over. I made a little bit of a meme build that turned out not to be a meme. We're gonna go over Death's Oath, which I kind of made just out of boredom and wanting to, you know, play a kind of meme build. It got a little bit of a buff this league. It got a new support gem that works with it. It gives it a more multiplier and like a 30-40% base damage increase, which I thought was great. And then I was like, all right, I'll give this a go. And so I made an Occulist to get the pops, kind of expecting it to maybe be able to do low red maps decently fast. And instead, it turned into kind of a mapping monster for how much we spent on it, which is a total of about 8 to 10x to get fully running at this stage. And basically how it works is it's like a chaos righteous fire. That's all it is. It's a chaos righteous fire. It burns enemies around you for chaos damage and yourself whenever you hurt somebody. If we skip through into a map again, basically it's a running build. Now, originally I started it wanting to use Blight as my single target damage, and I made some really cool 30% damage over time plus 2 gloves, and it just didn't have the damage, and I ended up having to go back to wearing a bow and quiver and using caustic arrow for single target. It is admittedly relatively low single target. I wouldn't call it a good bosser by any means. I did kill Sirus Awaken 9 on it. I'm not going to bother showing that in this video because it was a little dicey. What we will do is I will put a link to the stream highlight in the description of the little bit dicey Sirus kill, if anybody wants to see that. But as you can see, our map boss damage isn't that great. Now this can be fixed, but I'm not personally going to invest any more in this build, but I can probably more than double it single target. Right now I have a 1x bow that I bought off trade. It's not even a caustic arrow bow. There's no level 4 in power, nothing like that. If you wanted to invest in this character, it would work rather well. So let's have a quick look at what the character actually has. So back in the game, what we have is a nice pair of boots. I got lucky on the enchant, not important, nothing special there. We needed a strength roll on my Stygian Vice. Other than that, it's a decent Stygian Vice, but it's nothing special. Damage over time and projectiles pierce 1 target on our gloves. Still nothing special. Life, dex, damage over time. That's it. Now these are very important for speed mapping. These are the elevated or unveiled mods on rings for 1 minimum endurance charge and 1 minimum frenzy charge. One of these, I forget which one. One of those rings cost me an exalt. The other one cost me 2 chaos. And now whenever I map, I have 3 frenzy charges and 3 power charges all the time. So that's really nice for defense. I got I crafted on a blizzard helm because I'm not 100% sure and I still can't figure it out, but I think that this flat added cold damage adds to my occultist explosion pops, but so far I haven't been able to tell the difference between putting it on, so I don't think it's worth bothering with. But what you do need is 30% increased despair curse effect. We've got an in presence. We have this bow, which is absolutely not a caustic arrow bow. What you really want is a +1 multi-modded +2 supports, level 4 in power. You can look at any caustic arrow guide anywhere and copy that bow, and that would be the better one. But the good bows were like 4 or 5x already made, and these were 1, and I was trying to do this meme build on the cheap, so here we are. Important things that happened with Death's Oath is life tap. Gain life tap after spending 205 life with supported skill. Supported skills deal 29% more damage while you have life tap. Now this replaces Arcane Surge. You used to have Arcane Surge to give it the duration tag, so things like less duration would work. You don't have to do that anymore. Life tap does that, and it comes with a more multiplier, but we can't proc it because we don't spend mana on it. So life tap is in my caustic arrow and in my flame dash, but at low level in my flame dash. So every time I flame dash, I get the life tap buff, and then Death Oath does more damage. That's the trick there. I also decided to go with Awakened Ink Area of Effect instead of the standard Conk effect. It is less damage, but at least it comes with damage. But that 51% aura, that was really good. I couldn't pass that up. Honestly, and the bow is also nothing special. There's literally just a chaos damage over time multiplier for attacks and life, and that's it. So that's the whole build. Roomies does practically nothing. I'm not invested in block at all. Just didn't have anything else to put there. Please change that out at will for whatever you would like. And I ended up going with a normal 50% life recovery flask because I found I wasn't really getting one shot and needing an instant, and I liked the bigger heal over time. So that's the way I ended up doing that. This has been incredibly fun. Right, other important things. This is probably the most expensive part right here, which is just a glorious vanity for corrupted soul. That's how we're getting a large amount of that energy shield. I got very lucky. I picked one up from trade, first one, cheapest one I could find, and it came with chaos damage and max chaos resist, which was pretty cool because we do burn ourselves for chaos damage, so being chaos capped is pretty important. I am way over by accident, so that's fine. Because Death Oath is an aura, increasing area of effect of aura skills increases its area, increasing effect of non-curse auras also increases its base damage. So we've got leadership anointed for more area because I like area, and I took the entire sovereignty wheel for mana reservation. We actually don't need any mana at all, which means I could probably have leveled up vitality one more time. I'm not going to do it in case it turns off my aura. We are using Malevolence, Blasphemy, Tempt Chains, and an Enlighten, and I actually have a second Blasphemy with Despair down here. If I wanted to invest further, I would go for the extra curse here, and the second Blasphemy would end up being Tempt Chains and Enfeeble instead, and I would just use a different neck, and I would use the Witchfire Brew here, and then you would get a third curse. The Despair would be the Witchfire Brew, and you would use the Solaris something. It's a Shaper neck that gives you Tempt Chains for free so that you can have that instead. Whatever you do, you could get a third curse in there for more defenses. You will find we also have Flesh and Stone for a bigger AoE blind and less damage for stuff taken outside of it, a level 18 vitality for a decent amount of regen, and that's pretty much all of our defenses. We do have one chance to gain Onslaught on Kill Jewel, just because I like Onslaught and go fast. Right, Cluster Jewels, really not that actually important. These ones I was using because I was blighting, and I don't think Touch of Cruelty is super important anymore because I don't really hinder. But these are just chaos damage, whatever. I actually just picked whatever 8 notable, 3 passive, whatever 8 passive, 3 notable chaos damages that I could get for cheap, and they were very cheap. So these are the ones I have because it was done very cheaply. Same deal here. I got Flow of Life on pretty much every notable because the build was a little short on life. You can see we're still not at 5k, which is like my magic number. I always try and get builds to is about 5k. We're still not there, and that is with Flow of Life in all my mediums. However, every medium I think has a different off. It didn't matter to me. I didn't min-max this at all. It was just a meme, but it's been too fun to play not to share. So we ended up with one of those. Brush with Death is incredibly good. Incredibly good. I would love to have an extra one of those. We've got 2. I feel like a third would be okay, but that gives me all the recovery while running around. We've got Eldritch Inspiration, which we don't need mana. We don't need mana regen, so it's just 8 chaos damage multi, so that would be better as this. You'll also notice that because I bought them on the cheap, I bought any damage over time multiplier jewels that had the ones I wanted. Obviously, if you were playing the build and planning and investing on it, you would either get generic damage over time multi jewels or chaos damage over time multi only. You would not use the cold and fire ones that I've got. I got anatomical knowledge here, but it doesn't really do much. This was the blight jewel spot, and I just had a 1% reduced reservation blight jewel there, and because I didn't want to rebalance my stuff, I just threw in a 1% reservation anything jewel there. But these jewels are relatively cheap, chaos damage over time and life, and that is what I have in most of my places, just chaos damage over time and life. You could go for 3 stat ones if you were going to invest. Between all the little changes of changing my medium cluster jewels out, getting a 3rd stat on my notable, putting an extra curse in, and getting the correct bow here, we would over double our single target. Now the clear is already fine in 15s and 16s, so we don't need to worry about that, but we could easily over double our single target, and then it would be legitimate enough to kill most bosses. While I did kill Sirus 9 on it, I would not suggest killing Sirus 9 on it because its damage is just a little low on the single target right now. I would if I was to invest into it properly, get all the right jewels, get a proper Costa Carabo, then it would be perfectly fine. You could also quite easily change out Awakened Ink AoE for Conk Effect for Sirus type bosses, and that would go really well. This has been very, very fun to play. I really enjoyed it. I'm probably not going to totally strip the character, but I will leave the path of building of how it is below stream. It's been very fun, but it's time to make myself a proper juiced mapper. We are preparing. We're nearly finished with our headhunter, so we're on our way to making a proper juicer, which is what I'm going to change into next. This was just a little sidetrack meme because I really love Death Oath and I really wanted to make it work. I hoped the new buffs would make it work, and between the new base damage and the new support gem, which gives you 29% more damage, it works. It works now. You can play it. It's a legitimate build. I'm very happy with it. I will probably come back to this somewhere towards the end of the league and spend like real big boy adult money on it just to see what it does, because I think that would be fun. But yeah, that is it. That is all I've got for today. I will see everybody later.